Phoenix Suns have adjusted their lineup. Luke Longley has not played over the last 2 games. He's been bothered by sinus problems, but this is a bigger team, so they're going a little bit bigger. We'll see how they respond with the Raptors up front with Antonio Davis and Charles Oakley.
Longley kicks it back outside where Kidd chases it down, sneaking a peek at the shot clock. Now at 5. And it didn't make any difference as Clifford Robinson knocks it down for the first bucket of the game.
Well, we've done a lot of Cliff games, and we know it doesn't take 5 seconds for him to get it up and down. And he's got his people here from Buffalo, so he's ready to roll.
Gugliotta nearly got it from Oakley. Loose ball, live ball, and Hardaway will put it home.
Do they call that defense? Because that's something new to the Phoenix Suns. They are suddenly become a more defensive-minded team, and that's been the talk during this streak where they've won 8 out of 9, and let's see how they defend tonight.
By the way,
afternoon.
Dick Bavetta, Benny Adams, and Leroy Richardson are the officials for today's game. McGrady, athletic move, couldn't finish it, and Longley beats him to the basketball but can't control it. Out of bounds, Toronto gets it back.
You know, pressure on the ball, and that's where it always starts, and it just laid out there for Tom Gugliotta, and he got a little floor burn for it, but Penny Hardaway picks up the cheap 2, and they're up 4-0.
Carter to Davis. He's wide open, shoots but can't hit. Gugliotta with a rebound. Robinson guarded by Oakley. And now Kidd will set it up. Oakley picks him up on the switch. Mismatch with Robinson. And he gets in the ball. Robinson against Christie now. Moves to the hoop, can't score. Strong rebound by Davis. McGrady pulled up. And Robinson, the outlet to Kidd. 3-on-3 break. Hardaway. Long rebound. Davis has it for Toronto.
Well, you know, Toronto played on Friday night, and what happened to them was they got down early because they couldn't make shots, and the opponent was making them, and they're off to the same kind of misfiring start right now. And this game has so much importance for Butch Carter and his team, and Vince Carter. They've just got to settle down. They got a lot of time to play. They haven't yet to make a shot.
They missed their first 4. And that missed shot by Vince Carter. Maybe that medium-range jump shot might be one of the few weaknesses in his game. Hard to find any weaknesses. You have to be searching long and hard.
Well, you know, it's when he takes it. He can make it, and it's just a question of taking it under control. That was a control effort. Before they got home Friday night, asked the New York Knicks if he couldn't take it. He made 15 in that third quarter.
Well, in the offseason, he worked diligently on that medium-range jump shot, and the results in this season, as opposed to his rookie season, were evident. Oakley stripped it for a moment. Luke Longley gets it back. Hardaway. Pretty move, Penny Hardaway. And Phoenix up 6-2.
Now, Tracy McGrady has got a great mismatch against Jason Kidd, and all he has to do is use his size and play under control. He's going to get a shot.
Got right to the rim. Well, that spin move, and it falls down for his first bucket. And Toronto closes within 2. Gugliotta. Good help defense from Oakley. Ball movement to Kidd for 3. Way up for the rebound, McGrady. Nice save by Davis. Oakley's pass deflected and intercepted. Here's Robinson. McGrady fouled it.
You know, fan got kicked out here for protesting the call on Friday night. They want Tracy McGrady to get everything. This is a nice move and a roll, and defensively coming back, playing the ball the entire way. Nice strip of the ball, but no call for Tracy McGrady.
So Clifford Robinson at the line for Phoenix, now in his 11th season from UConn, rounds out. Log on to NBA.com for breaking news, video highlights, real-time scores, and live radio broadcasts for every NBA game are only a mouse click away. Plus, check out the top 10 plays from the first half of the season at NBA.com.
Cliff got neither one of the free throws to go in, but Gugliotta gets the rebound, so they got another possession. Trying to go through Luke Longley here early. Never got into play.
5 to shoot. Gugliotta. Rebounded by Christie.
Now, when the Raptors are good, it's because they get out quickly in transition.
And Charles Oakley with a transition pull-up basket. Scott Skiles didn't like that one, as the Raptors have tied it at 6, and Skiles takes a timeout. Back to Toronto, a 6-6 game. Tracy McGrady getting the start for the Raptors today, and he's one of the priorities for Coach Butch Carter. He wants to re-sign him. He becomes a free agent at the end of the season. He wants to keep that young 1-2 punch of Carter and McGrady together.
He has the ability to dominate a game. He's going to rebound. He's going to have assists. He's going to block shots. He's 20 years old. He's 3 years younger than Vince. And yet still, the only thing Vince leads him in is scoring on a per-minute basis. I think he is the best 20-year-old in the world. And I think it would be great to have him and Vince going at each other every day to show everybody who is number one. Because regardless of who's number one, you've got the 1 and 2 young guys in the whole league if you can keep them together.
He will be trying to keep them together. They're cousins, Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. Let's go to Ahmad.
That's right, Tom. They are cousins. Tracy told me that their grandmothers are cousins, so they're not, near cousins, they're distant cousins, but cousins nonetheless. Tracy also told me that he really enjoys playing with Vince, and he said that they could be the next Jordan and Pippen. And I said, who would you be? He said, I would be Pippen.
Really, what gets the Toronto Raptors in trouble is their own impatience. And when they are patient, they're a tough team. And when Vince Carter is making shots like that,
who knows patience?
there's a smile on the face of Butch Carter.
Longley retreating to post up on Oakley. Facing up. Oakley, known for his defense over his career, having to defend the bigger Longley, and there's McGrady with a help defense to bat it out of bounds.
I guess he does block shots.
Yeah.
Tremendous play from McGrady off the ball. After Oakley did a good job of keeping Oakley under control, he spun away, and there's the real meaning of defense. Everybody's got to be involved. 2 on the shot clock. Phoenix inbounded.
Gugliotta bailed out by the foul. Well, they had him stopped, and then the foul will send Gugliotta to the line. Tom Gugliotta had that scary seizure, you'll remember, earlier this season. Sat out a few games. Missed 7 games after being checked out.
He was in Portland, played the ball game, collapsed, and then everybody just kind of collectively held their breath. And the best thing is to see Tom back on the court playing and not having any problems. Both the free throws for Gugliotta.
In fact, he's been playing better than ever. The last 6 games averaging 16 points, which is 3 above his seasonal average. The free throws stop at 8-0 Toronto run. Here's Carter, baseline, blocked by Robinson. Got it back, blocked again, but a foul. Longley and Robinson both collapsing on Vince Carter, and Robinson charged with a foul.
The first time around, Vince had committed himself to the shot, and it was a good play by Cliff Robinson to just stay with them. Made a good timing situation on the block, tried to do the same thing from the rear, got a piece of the body, and Carter goes to the line for the first time this afternoon. Cliff's not happy with the call.
You can count free throws as another thing that Vince Carter does well. 80% shooter on the season. And the native of Daytona Beach, Florida, knocks down 2 more. He has 8 in the game. Toronto up 4. Longley now guarded by Antonio Davis, and a travel by Longley calls Dick Bavetta. Said you shuffled your feet, did a little hop, wipes out a basket, gives the ball to the Raptors.
Longley is one of those players that's face is difficult to read in terms of whether he's in the game or not, but I don't think he's arrived here in Toronto yet.
Still stuck in customs, isn't he? Antonio Davis muscling up. Hardaway got a piece of it. Still loose. Who's going to claim it? Longley of Phoenix. Robinson. Tough shot. Tapped it in.
Yeah, big play by Cliff Robinson to stay with that one after getting a little off balance.
4 points for Clifford, who makes it a 2-point game. Last half dozen scored by Carter, and Oakley ends that string. Oakley's got his shooting touch today. He's 2 for 2.
As long as Oakley catches and shoots and has both of his feet planted, he's a pretty good shooter for a big guy. When he starts dancing with the ball, moving around, he's probably not going to have any success. Carter with the foul.
Gugliotta, strong drive to the rim. Carter assessed his first foul with 5:09 left in the opening quarter from the Air Canada Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Gugliotta, who grew up in Huntington Station, New York, got to admire a guy that played outside regardless of the weather. In fact, he learned to play wearing mittens much of the time. Now you explain that to me.
Well, he was you know, maybe his parents didn't want him coming inside and tracking up the house. The spark is in for the Phoenix Suns. Rodney Rogers, who's been such a big part of their success here of late. Luke Longley goes down. Gugliotta gets both the free throws.
So Rodney Rogers, the leading candidate in the NBA for Six-Man Award, averaging 13 points and 5 rebounds a game.
D. Brown in, Doug Christie out. You know, before the trade deadline, Christie's name was all over the place about being traded, and that has gone by the board. We'll see if he settles down and plays as well as he did before the trade deadline. Turnover, Oakley.
Oakley made a bad pass behind the back as you see Christie on the Toronto bench as D. Brown, who was just activated on February 23rd after an injury, is back on the court to replace Doug Christie. Hardaway cut off for the defense. Rogers, three-pointer, short. Hardaway the rebound, finds Robinson for 3. And Antonio Davis with the rebound for Toronto, his 3rd board already. Oakley's going to shoot again. Charles Oakley, 3 for 3.
Well, you know, Cliff Robinson backed up on his shot. He thought it was good. Charles Oakley said, this is the way you do it. And his goes down, 6 1/4 for Oakley.
Oakley, a 44% shooter on the season, is perfect in the first quarter.
And both of these teams like to play outside in, so rebounding really becomes a priority. And after you get it, you should be looking for that quick layup.
Here's McGrady against his idol, Penny Hardaway. Penetrates to Davis. The jump shot won't go. Jason Kidd the other way for Phoenix. Rogers. Re-entry pass to Rogers. Turn and fire. Oakley slapped it to Carter. Phoenix back on defense though. Crossover dribble, and Carter is fouled as Rogers comes to help Robinson. And he needed help.
Well, Cliff initially did a good job of slowing him down. And with most players that are dominant right-handed players, he gives them a little hesitation and comes back right at him. And the pressure's on Robinson and Rodney Rogers. And Vince Carter will go to the line.
And Clifford gets number 2. Vince Carter, it was interesting. Jeff Van Gundy, who coached Vince at the All-Star game, was so impressed not by those dunks, not by his play, but by his character. In fact, he said Vince was late for one of the Eastern Conference team's practices because he was at another NBA event. There was no apology necessary, but he went out of his way to go to Jeff Van Gundy and apologize, and later introduced Jeff to his parents. And speaking of Vince's parents, his coach, Coach Carter, said they did a marvelous job raising this young man because he has his life in order, all his priorities straight. Of course, it was Ahmad Rashad's fault that he made Vince late for that practice. Just thought I'd add that. Here's Vince in the open court. Gives the ball up to McGrady, whose shot is no good. And a loose ball foul is going to be called. And it's going to be on John Thomas, who just came into the game for Toronto. As D. Brown actually was the man who missed the shot. And the loose ball foul, John Thomas.
But the Raptors have not been playing well here of late. They need to continue this surge that they're on to not only build some confidence, get their home court advantage back, but their attitude that they can beat a quality team from the West.
Oakley with his second foul sends Penny Hardaway to the line. And he'll have one more with 3 minutes left in the quarter.
Substitution for the Raptors into the game replacing Charles Oakley.
That's what the Raptors have done against the elite teams. Kevin Willis makes his first appearance in the Toronto lineup. And Sean Marion on the floor for Phoenix, the talented rookie who is off the injured list from UNLV. Rex Chapman was praising his athleticism in a little conversation before the game. Carter, googly out of the rebound.
With the exception of that one three-point shot that Jason Kidd looked at, he has now been looking to try to score the ball, and they need him to be aggressive in trying to find his shot. That makes it easier for everybody else. Carter steals.
Took it away from Rogers. D. Brown to Thomas. McGrady gives it up. Brown for three. Never got above the rim. Kidd with a long pass. Intercepted by McGrady. Willis misses the shot, and then it's jammed home by Tracy McGrady. 4 points for Tracy.
Well, McGrady putting his full arsenal of skills on display. Has already blocked one, stole one, tipped one in. Multi-dimension player and plays with a lot of poise and control.
Rogers once again drawing the defense and the foul as well. And the Raptors made him the 9th player taken in the '97 draft. His favorite sport and best sport was baseball. He was a pitcher until about the 11th grade when, in his words, he began to dominate in basketball. Rodney Rogers knocks 2 off the Toronto lead.
Don't they have a dominator? He was here last night, wasn't he? Hush it.
He got dominated by the Leafs last night. The Air Canada Center, home to the Toronto Maple Leafs as well. There's the lob, but the finish not there. Willis, determined board work by the veteran Kevin Willis.
You know, the one thing about the young players, they have to carry the old horses. And, you know, the good thing is Antonio Davis, Kevin Willis, Charles Oakley all realize that what they're trying to do is direct them in the right way. You lead, we'll follow, and we'll win.
Kevin Willis in his 15th season has over 15,000 points, 10,000 rebounds. And he hits 1 of 2 at the line. Let's go to Ahmad.
Thanks, Tom. You were talking about Charles Oakley. You know, Charles Oakley has his own way of saying things. I asked him about assessing the Raptors. He says it's like a cake. Some are dry, some are moist. But this cake we got here, well, it's moist.
And we like cake.
We do.
He also said the team is kind of like a band. You have to have a drummer and a bass player and a saxophonist, and you kind of get together, and then you make a few records, and then you start winning Grammys. They aren't quite to the Grammy stage yet, but they're getting there.
Yeah, they won a #1 hit, and it's a guy that's dangerous in the open court, Rodney Rogers. They let him catch it, and he's very aggressive. It's a painful look on the conductor's face.
That was just the second Phoenix field goal in over 8 minutes.
But whenever Rodney Rogers is in this position, and as good as he is, and quick and strong, he's going to bring it to the rim. He gets fouled, a chance for a three-point play.
See your leading candidate for Six-Man Award?
You know, it took him a little while to get started, but he definitely is. He has been a guy that's brought a lot of energy and changed really the dimensions of the Phoenix Suns. His confidence is back, and, you know, this is one guy that you couldn't pay him to go back to Los Angeles.
He was thinking about quitting basketball when he was with the Clips. The outside shot by McGrady won't go. Actually, McGrady was one of those candidates for 6 men throughout most of the season, but looks like he's going to start now for the rest of the way.
If he starts the rest of the way, that's probably going to take him out of the category. You take a look at the 6 men right now as they stand. Coutinho, Mobley, McGrady, Rogers, and Gatlin.
Young Tracy McGrady, as Butch Carter said, he's earned the chance to start, to be out there when the game begins, to earn his lumps and to learn his way, and to be there on the court when the game ends as well.
Now the problem for Butch Carter is who gives me that kind of energy? Who gives me that kind of play off the bench? And we're talking about all-around play. We're just not talking about points, and we have seen just all of the things that Tracy McGrady can do to affect the game. Willis with 2 free throws.
Willis with 3 points and 3 rebounds in just 2 minutes of play. Kidd crossover, got him free for the shot. Rebounded by Thomas. Here's McGrady now at the point. Again matched up with Hardaway. 1 against 1. Young against veteran. Carter. 3-pointer. Long rebound, chased down by Brown. He puts up a 3 as the first quarter comes to a close. Normally you find Chris Rock in a Knicks game, but he's here to see Vince Carter and the Raptors today at the Air Canada Center with Samuel Jackson. And Nelson George, a basketball historian, sitting with them courtside. Here's Muggsy Bogues in to start the second quarter for Toronto. And Del Curry on the floor as well.
Well, Curry is a fireman par excellence as they slap that one away from Kevin Willis inside. But both teams struggling to get the ball up and down. 30% for the Raptors, 26% for the Phoenix Suns. Normally a high-scoring team. Rodney Rogers.
Rogers missed the scoop. And McGrady in front court. Jump stop up, and he'll shoot 2. Athletic move by young Tracy McGrady. He's continuing to seal the show from Cuz.
Well, you know, the beauty of it is that he's got a high degree of difficulty in his game, but plays with a lot of control and makes it look pretty easy. And he's unhappy that this shot didn't go in and thinking, oh, man, I missed that.
This is the first free throw, and don't forget, coming up next, an Eastern Conference battle. League's leading scorer, Allen Iverson, of the 76ers against Latrell Sprewell, Allen Houston, and the Knicks. Others will see a rematch of last year's Western semis as Portland plays Utah. Then in Game 3, a battle of 2 up-and-coming superstars, Steve Francis against Kobe Bryant. Some will see the world champion Spurs and T-Wolves as our NBA triple header rolls on. Randy Livingston now at the point against Muggsy Bogues.
He is still the most troublesome little guy to ever put on a uniform, Muggsy Bogues. I mean, you know, to think that he's been able to play this long and do what he has done. And one thing he does is make opponents nervous and make mistakes.
Well, that time he thought he had the call, but he didn't. It goes back to Phoenix. Muggsy Bogues, all 5'3" of him, is the all-time NBA assist-to-turnover ratio leader. Well, the Toronto Raptors do get it after all.
Now, Rodney Rogers upset because, as you see, the assist-to-turnover ratio, and the all-time leader is Muggsy Bogues, but Rodney Rogers thought he got whacked on that one and got nothing.
McGrady against Marion. Nice dish. Willis couldn't handle it, but did get it. On the way to Thomas, who hits his first shot. 26-17, Toronto lead. That's their biggest advantage.
Teams always try to post Muggsy Bogues. This time the Phoenix Suns get something out of it because Luke Longley goes to the hoop. No standing that time, and an easy first two for Longley.
Longley dives to the rim after they had seen Livingston post up Bogues. Del Curry, the three-point shooter supreme. Nice move by Thomas. Back-to-back buckets for John Thomas, former Minnesota Gopher.
John Thomas trying to make it tough for Butch Carter to take him out, and he just sent somebody up there.
Oh. John might have noticed that.
Rogers for 3.
Rogers finds the bottom of the net from three-point range. He has 8, once again giving Phoenix a spark off the bench. It cuts the Toronto lead to a half dozen. Pick and roll, Willis and McGrady, nothing there. McGrady floats, misses. Thomas, and he's fouled. Thomas has been very active here. Here's a banner honoring Maple Leaf Gardens. And for new memories and new dreams, the Air Canada Center, almost exactly a year old, a year and a week, actually now. And home of the Toronto Raptors and their young star, Vince Carter.
Carter in, McGrady down, John Thomas staying out there, knocking down a couple of free throws, so 6 points for him in the quarter.
The Raptors added a couple of points to their lead with their star Carter on the bench. Good news for them, but Sean Marion hits the jump shot, his first basket. And Phoenix within 6. Carter being defended by Marion.
But they have done a good job of keeping Vince Carter off the free throw line and making him play perimeter. And that time they set up Kevin Willis with that jump hook, which we have seen so many go up and down.
And he has 5 points for the Raptors. Livingston. Nice pass to Marion for the jam from Randy Livingston.
You know, Tom, they must have seen that highlight from Toronto, New York, and now they're starting to move the ball, move people, and that's the easiest way to score. Marion with back-to-back bucket.
Rex Chapman on the floor for the Suns.
The more the more you hold the ball, the easier it is to defend, the tougher it is to make passes, and you get a turnover from Vince Carter trying to lob it inside.
You sure you don't want to coach? There's a steal the other way. Bogues to Willis. I think Vince Carter wanted the pass and was upset that he didn't get it. Visibly upset with both Willis and John Thomas.
Illegal hold on Muggsy Bogues.
Bogues picks up his first foul. Willis and Thomas have scored the last 10 Toronto points.
Antonio Davis replacing Thomas. He gave him a nice shot in the arm right there. And Vince Carter
has twice. That's twice that you didn't give me the ball. Livingston missed the shot but got his own. Did he beat the shot clock?
Hands go up. Skiles is saying yes. All of the Raptors are saying no.
And Dick Bavetta, Benny Adams, and Leroy Richardson are huddling.
Clock going down. This one comes off. Livingston. No.
And it is correctly ruled. No basket. Shot clock violation. Scott Skiles, who is living a lifelong dream as coach of the Phoenix Suns. Curry for 3. Rebounded by Longley. His pass. I think Del Curry touched it. That'll bail the Suns out because it was too long for Marion, but Curry stuck a hand up and Phoenix gets it back. They have as many turnovers, 9, as field goals made. Chapman to Livingston for that's a 2, actually 2, had a foot on the line. First basket for Randy Livingston makes it a 6-point game. Carter, they double team him as Davis rolls to the basket, trying to get it to Willis, knocked away.
Well,
Chapman.
That's part of that thing, Tom, where they said that they're coming at Vince Carter harder. They're doubling him, they're tripling, they're making him give the ball up. Maybe they better start doing the same thing to Rodney Rogers as he knocks down another 3.
Phoenix converting the turnover to points. Rogers with 11 points in 10 minutes on the floor. Willis again over Longley. Davis, offensive board. Back to Davis from Curry. And stripped away by Livingston. Livingston doing a good job for Phoenix. Chapman for 3. Curry the other way. Now Bogues. And Livingston called for the foul.
Ahmad Rashad back at the Air Canada Center here in Toronto, and I'm joined now by Vince Carter's #1 fan and also his mother, Michelle Carter Robinson. Thanks for visiting with me. Now, here's what I want to clear up. I've heard that one of the reasons for his big improvement is that he spends his summers in film sessions with you.
Sometimes, part of it, yeah. Besides working out, we go over films from the previous season and I point out things where, see, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Just like at the beginning of the second quarter here, he had a pass. Nobody rotated over and forced him to make a bad pass.
Now, he tells me that even when he's playing, he can hear you yelling things from the stands.
Yeah, probably from yelling for so many years. You know, you go to sleep and I hear her yelling. Yeah.
Here's another thing. I asked him, had he ever played against you one-on-one?
Yes, he has.
Now, is it true that he tried to dunk on you?
Yes, he did.
And the way you stopped him was pulling his shorts down.
Defense works every time.
Thank you very much for joining us. All right, back to you, Tom.
All right, Ahmad, Snapper, I think we have a new Clippers coach here.
Don't do that, dude. Rodney Rogers out of the zone, the Clipper zone, that is. 8 points here in the quarter. They keep Phoenix in it. You wouldn't do that. She seemed like such a nice lady, Tom.
Oakley for 3. Came up short. Good block out by Rodney Rogers, who has scored 13 points in 12 minutes off the Phoenix Suns bench.
I'll tell Charles Oakley, you get no Grammys when you shoot out of your range.
That's right. He had a sour note on that one for sure. Livingston trying to double again. They took it away. They're trying to post both, I should say. Comes right back, though, to Marion, who jams it home.
Who is Rodney Rogers? The guy that's making it happen. We're on the floor to make the save. Find Marion. So Marion and Rogers making it happen at the offensive end. 16 points between them in the quarters.
Carter for 3. $15 points for Carter. He went about 3 minutes after re-entering the game without even taking a shot. Now he's had back-to-back buckets. That one a trifecta.
The Phoenix Suns are a terrific offensive team. Muggsy Bogues gets called for the hand check.
Hold it. That hand couldn't stop anybody. The man's 5'3". Muggsy weighs at least 130 pounds.
Number 13, Christie back in the game for the Raptors.
But you know what happens is Muggsy Bogues has to live and die with these kinds of plays and runs into a bigger, stronger guy who pulls it away, and Rodney Rogers makes it happen for the Phoenix Suns to keep the game close.
Bogues out, Christie in for the Raptors. Gugliotta's back for Phoenix, so is Clifford Robinson. Here's Gugliotta to the rim, couldn't finish it. Carter against Livingston. Now Robinson to help in the double, and he got it to the open man. Davis draws the foul as he tries to jam it home. Vince Carter drew the double and got it to the open man.
And since this is something new for Vince Carter and the Toronto Raptors, they have to make this adjustment. Somebody's got to cut to the bucket. Davis arrives late, and the rotating defense is never going to be there in time, and Rex Chapman picks up the foul.
Phoenix bench has outscored Toronto 21-13 thanks to Rodney Rogers. In fact, the Suns bench has outscored the Suns starters 21-14 thanks to Rodney. Free throws good by Antonio. Toronto up 41-35. 3:45 to play, second quarter at the Air Canada Center. Hardaway, who has returned for Phoenix against Del Curry, gets a screen from Rogers. Rogers rolls to the basket. Finally, they get him the ball, but help defense from Carter. Gugliotta from Rogers.
Nice play by Tom Gugliotta, but again, it's ball movement, player movement after the double team, and you have somebody cutting to the basket. Good things happen. First two for Gugliotta since re-entering the game.
There's the bench scoring situation. Jason Kidd has not scored, has 2 rebounds and just 1 assist. Carter will shoot a pair. You know, they had a timeout after Vince Carter had said, look, why do you give me the ball? And I think they made a point over there on the bench because he's gotten the ball every time since.
Vince Carter taking a tough shot, but Cliff Robinson was the last voice we heard saying, you can't call that kind of foul.
And he did, his third. So Clifford will go out, still protesting.
But I got people here. They came over from Buffalo.
He had 20 tickets for family and friends that came to watch him play in Toronto, not far from Buffalo, where he went to Riverside High School, and his sister Elisa played basketball at Canisius in Buffalo. Rogers was in the lane too soon, but didn't matter. Carter hit it anyway. He now has 17 points, 6 for 6 free throws. His coach, Butch Carter, complaining earlier that he wouldn't get any calls. He was in the lane so much, he needed more calls. He's getting the calls today and making good on the free throws. Meanwhile, speaking of making good, Hardaway hits his 7th point.
It is a quiet comeback story for Penny Hardaway. You know, he moved out to Phoenix, and initially they thought they were going to have this great backcourt combination. He had some problems adjusting, then he got hurt. So he's making his way back in. Dale Curry on top of that one.
Tough shot by Curry, his first bucket. And the two teams trading baskets here recently. 45-39 Toronto. 2.5 minutes left till halftime.
Vince Carter now the responsibility of defending Penny Hardaway, and every time he switched off, bad things have happened. Hardaway back-to-back buckets.
And 9 points in the first half. Christie looks inside.
You know, if you're Vince Carter and I'm guarding Hardaway, you got to come back to me at the other end. I got to do some damage on this guy and get him down. Carter over the top.
Vince Carter shoots over him a three-pointer. Yes, you saw Carter raising his head. Was it a three? Yes, it was a three. He has 20.
Hit again. 20 already?
Hardaway has answered. The two stars back and forth. And Carter had a smile as he retreated up court as Hardaway matched his three.
And sometimes that's all you can do defensively. If a player's shooting well, you just got to live with it.
Take that! Incredible! Vince Carter. Hardaway scored 7 straight points. Now Oakley picks him up on the switch. Hardaway shoots anyway, missed one. Curry. Bad pass. Hardaway deflected it, but right to Carter. Full of jam. First half points for Carter. He was right when he said, "Give me the ball."
Tracy McGrady was going to get in the game, and now he's going to have to sit down because they're running out of time, but the crowd now into it because of the offensive explosion.
Rodney Rogers missed in close, under pressure. Carter has scored 15 points the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, the New York Knicks know how that feels.
Yeah.
They saw one of those streaks. But we talked about Carter and the improvement in his game, and it's come from the outside. And he's found the ability to shoot deep and long and consistently. And when the defense lets him rise up, bad things happen. Back-to-back three-point field goals for Vince Carter, and the story continues.
20-second timeout taken by the Raptors.
But then, you know, where he has made all of his fame is over the top of the basket, and they get him one inside. But, you know, the interesting thing about Carter is, you know, he's got a very, very nice and smiling demeanor off the floor. You see him having a little fun there. But when he gets out on the floor, he's an intimidating kind of personality, and he'll let you know.
He said that sometimes when he gets that open path to the rim, he's tempted to just lay it in. But no, everybody expects a dunk. I've got to go jam it. The Raptors' record for points and a half is 27. He'll be too shy of that as he stays on the bench for the final seconds. Curry missing a three. Final seconds of the first half. Carter alone outscoring the Suns in the last 5.5 minutes. Rogers, who else? For three.
And that is his third three-pointer of the ball game, 11 in the quarter. So you cannot run away from the Phoenix Suns. You've got to stay up. You've got to defend them. Tracy McGrady holding for the final shot of the half.
McGrady back to Oakley. That's a two-pointer. It won't go over the backboard and out of bounds with 2 seconds left.
Step in, Charles. 2 feet. Step in. You'll make that shot.
Charles started off by hitting his first 3 shots. And now the Suns will take a 20 with 2 seconds left to try to set up a last second shot before halftime.
2 seconds to go in the half, and if you're the Toronto Raptors, two things you don't want to happen. Give up something cheap at the basket or foul someone on a quick shot from the outside, as they did with Tom Gugliotta. So what Butch Carter told his team, just stay in front, keep your hands up. If they're going to make a shot, make them make a shot, as Vince Carter will sit and watch.
Chapman throws it where no one can get it. And the first half comes to an end. Rodney Rogers was spectacular for Phoenix, scoring 16 points in 17 minutes off the Phoenix bench. But Vince Carter, just too shy of the all-time Toronto first-half scoring record with 25. All
right, thanks, Tom. Butch Carter told his team at halftime that he's very comfortable with them offensively, but he felt like Penny Hardaway was getting way too comfortable, and someone has to find Rodney Rogers. As far as Scott Skiles, he told his team he's got to make the other team make tougher shots, and if they got to cut down on the turnovers, make their free throws, and they're right there. Tom?
All right, Ahmad. And a foul as McGrady sends it toward the rim. It'll be on Penny Hardaway. Suns have to be somewhat encouraged that they were only down 6 points, despite the fact that Jason Kidd did not score and had only 1 assist. Tom Gugliotta had only 5 points, and Clifford Robinson had only 4 points.
And, they're shooting a better percentage. They did not get to the free throw line. As McGrady toes the stripe, this has been the difference for them in getting the lead. Now, notice how far away from the free throw line he is. He must really think he can shoot free throws and practicing something else on this.
Each player has to find his own rhythm, his own thing he does to make him comfortable. And like Wilt Chamberlain, who is not a role model for free throw shooting, by the way, Tracy McGrady stands well back from the free throw line and sinks them. Jason Kidd, a hesitation move, draws the defense. And Gugliotta is fouled. Pushing foul on Carter.
A late call, but the correct one is they spooned that ball inside, and the defense of Carter and Charles Oakley reacting late.
Second foul on Vince. High post, Luke Longley. Robinson.
Now, Butch Carter told Ahmad, uncomfortable. What that means is make players do things they don't want to do. You saw a very comfortable effort by Cliff Robinson right there. That's the way he started the game. Foul trouble took him out of the game.
There you see that the shooting improving as the game has progressed. Carter, open look from 3, maybe 2 open. He missed it, chased down by Gugliotta.
Way too easy, his mom just yelled out.
That's right. Yeah, that one will be on the review tape highlights of what not to do. Got a good long look at it, couldn't hit. Here's Christie with a steal, took it away from Longley. Tried to lob it, Hardaway deflected. Here's Penny Hardaway.
And the simple play would have gotten him 2. He went for the lob and some sort of highlight film. Penny Hardaway read it correctly. Nice steal, Penny Hardaway.
He has 14 points, and the lead down to 4. McGrady, long shot, finds the net. Tracy McGrady now with 9.
Yeah, they would like to get Tracy McGrady into the game. He took some tough shots in that first half, didn't get many down. Couple of free throws in his first jumper. We'll see how he goes the rest of the third quarter.
Gugliotta against Carter. Double down from McGrady momentarily, back to Hardaway. Re-entry Gugliotta. Ball fake and a spin. Nice move, Tom Gugliotta.
It's a tough matchup for Vince Carter because he's given away so much size and strength to Gugliotta. Help didn't get there in time, and it's an easy 2-point.
Lob to Christie, taken away from him, but it comes right to Oakley. Davis, 2 to shoot, and that will be a shot clock violation. Phoenix ball.
24-second shot clock violation.
Anytime you're bigger than your opponent and you can hold your position, good things are going to happen for you. And they pin Carter right down deep, about 10 feet away, a spin inside, and he's on the board. Let's see if they come right back to the same play because he got the same matchup.
And there it is. This time Gugliotta pushed out on the floor.
That's right. He got him bumped off the floor a little bit further out, so he gave it up. Cliff Robinson
Grabbed by Antonio Davis.
Now, when do the Oscars come up? And listen to Cliff Robinson all the way in. He doesn't have control of that ball, but he yells and grunts and groans, and he gets to the free throw line. Nice job by Cliff Robinson to draw the attention of the official.
Well, world champion pole vaulter Tracy Dragila has had some great jumps this year and a world record last weekend. Saturday, 2 Eastern, you can tune in and see if she'll continue to set the standard in women's pole vaulting. It's all part of the U.S. Indoor Track and Field Championships from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta next Saturday at 2 Eastern here on NBC.
Yeah, Tom, I'll be listening to you. I know that it'll be exciting.
Hoping to see Maurice Green in action again at the 60-meter distance. He blazed in Madison Square Garden the last time we had him on.
A 2-point game, and it's going to be Carter that's going to have to start bringing him back. Whoa!
Oh, with a spin, the 360 layup, Vince Carter.
He's not been able to get inside many times, and now that is worth seeing more than one time, because that is improvisation right on the fly.
And listen to the crowd. Ooh and ahs is playing on the big screen. 3-point play for Vince Carter. He has 29 in the game, 28 in the game.
Penny Hardaway stepped out and he just snatched himself away from him and got the foul to boot.
Gugliotta has a strip by Oakley. McGrady all the way. No, that'll be basket interference. Offensive goaltending, wipe out the basket.
He wasn't sure. It was going to go, but he wasn't sure, and he put his hand in there right at the end. This one going up. Ah! I want it back.
He won't get it back. As we look on the right above the rim. Phoenix with the ball down by 5. Hardaway calling for it against Carter. On the backing down, high, arching shot, up, down, and through. Hardaway is having a big game, 16 points. Right on his seasonal average. And it comes with 8 minutes left in the third.
If there's one thing that's improved for Hardaway, that's the arc on this shot. Normally he's a flat shooter and had trouble getting them in, and we've seen him in over the years where he's really struggled, but watch how he makes an adjustment against a leaping Vince Carter. Never going to give him a chance to even get to this one.
It went so high, it went out of the picture. There it is, as it nestles the net on its way through. Cliff Robinson has just picked up his 4th foul. And he'll be replaced by Sean Marion.
For the Suns, replacing Cliff Robinson.
7:54 left in the third. And the Raptors continue to lead. The margin is 3. Carter saying to McGrady, get it to Oakley because I'm coming off the screen. Couldn't hit the shot. Gugliotta. 6 rebounds for Googs now. McGrady slapped it away. Oakley gives it up to McGrady. Oh! The Cousins combine, and Gugliotta answers for Phoenix in a much less dramatic way.
It did not look like he was going to get there, Tom.
I didn't think he could. He has been credible. McGrady gives it up to Davis, then dives to the rim. Nothing there. Here's Carter with a screen. 3-pointer on its way.
Now you see what the problem is. He can shoot.
I don't see any problems.
No. For the defense, over the top, you shoot it. Now you run at him. He gets away from you. If you close on him, he's so athletic and acrobatic. He spins and makes up his shot. Carter on a tear here in the third.
You think he might have known this was his NBC coming out party? Hardaway draws the foul and one. Penny Hardaway. Penny has scored 14 points in the last 9 minutes. He and Rogers have kept Phoenix in the game, and they're only down 3 despite the Vince Carter show. McGrady is fouled. Anthony Rogers is back, by the way, for Phoenix.
Every time Phoenix has closed in, it's been Vince Carter to give them some more breathing room, or Tracy McGrady making something happen. Ball movement, player movement again, and they beat the defense with a pass. McGrady back on the line.
No, he's not on the line.
I forgot.
He's a good couple of feet back from the line. And don't forget, on Tuesday, a TNT doubleheader. Miami Heat visiting the San Antonio Spurs, and the Lakers and the Trailblazers. Big game in Portland. That doubleheader starts at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm going to have the Big Redhead in San Antonio for TNT on Tuesday.
Yeah, you guys are running the deep part of Texas. It ought to be a very, very interesting game. David Robinson now elevating his game.
And you'll be in Portland for that showdown between the Lakers and the Blazers.
John Marion, tough shot.
Vince Carter grabs it for Toronto and whips it to McGrady, but Rogers intercepts. To Gugliotta, back to Rogers. He's fouled. Reach in on Oakley.
I'm sure the Los Angeles Clippers are saying Rodney Rogers never played like that for us on a consistent basis.
Well,
and, you know, Carter trying to really push this one and get a fast break for McGrady like a safety, big safety. Rodney Rogers steps in.
He could play safety too, couldn't he?
Well, as big as a football player.
He's strong, yeah. Double team of Gugliotta, nowhere to go. Did get it to Marion, and he scores. Nice play by Gugliotta to get it out of the double team.
Marion just kept moving, and it's a 2-point game.
66-64 Toronto.
5:25 to go in the game, and this is a real good test for Antonio Davis and the Raptors to keep their poise.
Tough shots by Davis in traffic, his 4th point. 68-64 Toronto, 5:10 and counting, 3rd quarter.
First 2 by anyone other than McGrady or Vince Carter in white.
7 of 8 shooting by Phoenix. Well, maybe not a steal. Finally, yes it is, as Carter comes away with the basketball. Christie, Carter wants it back.
Normally, Doug Christie looks at that 3-point shot. He has a nice slap by Sean Marion to get the ball.
Hardaway with a football-type catch. His fall away won't go down. Christie outstrapped Rogers for the rebound. There's the 3 you mentioned. No good. Long rebound. Carter. There's one more that you can add to the repertoire. Crossover from Jason Kidd. Nice shot. Kidd, the crossover, got him to the rim, and he laid it home.
First 2 of the afternoon for Jason Kidd, who's been very quiet. Only had 2 on Friday, had 13 assists in that game in which they lost to the New York Knicks. They broke down in the closing moments of the game, and that broke their streak at 8. 5 on the clock for Christie.
Forced it. Kidd got a piece of it. 2-on-1 break for the Suns. Kidd takes it all the way. Jason Kidd with back-to-back scores, and the lead cut to 2. Oakley, air ball. Kidd leads a 4-on-1 break. Behind the back, Marion, no good. But a foul, blocking foul on Carter of Toronto. 3 on Carter. Marion, if he hits the second free throw, will have double figures. Carter with 35 today, but picks up his 3rd with 3:27 to play, 3rd quarter, and will go to the bench, replaced by D. Brown.
Well, as good as he's been, Butch Carter knows he's going to need him for the 4th. Doesn't want to get him another foul here. The ball game is tied.
Carter has scored 10 points in the 1st quarter, 15 in the 2nd, and 10 in the 3rd, as he sits down with 3 minutes plus to go in the 3rd quarter. Tied at 70.
Now it's up to McGrady and Christie to get the lead back for the Toronto Raptors, who have stalled.
Oakley lost it. Rogers to Kidd. Again, the numbers for Phoenix. The lob broken up by McGrady. And then a foul. Well, Jason Kidd trying to get a little too fancy with the lob when they had the numbers on the break.
Well, he got to remember the other guy was runner-up in the slam dunk contest, and he can go up pretty high. As Rodney Rogers does a good job of stepping in and coming up with a loose ball, and then they push it the other way. Now, watch McGrady go up. Gets there first.
As he beat his idol, Penny Hardaway, to the basketball. You think those young legs might have had something to do with that?
Younger. You know, Penny like that. He might be a little nicked up and got a little mileage on him. And Vince Carter smiles with approval.
Kevin Willis replaces Charles Oakley for Toronto. McGrady will have another free throw. 11 points and 5 boards for him today.
McGrady is a right-handed player who does a lot of things with his left hand, and you've seen his left hand come into play on the steals and on the rebounds on a couple of occasions, gets them both. He's got 7 1/4, 2-point advantage, Toronto.
Doesn't in the game for Tracy. Kidd, Jason Kidd looking for his shot more in the second half. Has hit all 3 of his shots in this third quarter. 2 of them were layups.
Couple of layups woke him up, though. He wasn't thinking about scoring, and now they've got him into the ball game, and that's a problem.
Brady's pass takes Christie to the corner. Marion there with him.
Trying to post McGrady, 8 on the clock.
McGrady fakes, Hardaway shoots. No good. Nice rebound by Marion. Here's Kidd pushing the ball again. This time Toronto's back on defense. Rogers, ball fake, lays it in. Pretty. And Phoenix has its first lead since they were up 6-4. Rodney Rogers limping just a little bit, but seems to walk it off.
And as I said before, now the Raptors have to regroup. They've been able to ride the heroics of Vince Carter. He's on the bench, and now they've got to play a little bit sounder basketball, make sure they get a shot every time down. Christie on the post.
Blocked by Marion. 3-on-2 break. Hardaway between the legs, fouled by McGrady. Ahmad reminding us that Penny Hardaway with a new start as a Phoenix Sun, and got a tattoo that says Part 2, Heaven Sent. There it is. Which is a new start for him in an effort to revitalize a career that had had just a bit of tarnish his last year or so in Orlando, and playing now for his former Magic teammate, Scott Skiles.
So it's a 3-point advantage for the Phoenix Suns, and let's see if that defensive attitude steps up and closes out the third quarter of play, and they make it difficult for
Now nothing's difficult. Just a layup. He just nestled it through. Phoenix lead cut to 1.
Kevin Willis. You know, if you give Carter any kind of an advantage, he seems to have the ability to make you pay for it. Watch him move himself around and still drop it in for 37.
And to make the catch, he subtly used that off arm to shield, something the great ones do inconspicuously. And golf returns to NBC next Saturday. The best of the PGA make their southern swing. First up, the Blue Monster awaits in Miami, the Doral Ryder Open. Coverage begins next Saturday at 3 Eastern here on NBC. The Doral Ryder Open, 3 Eastern, Saturday on NBC.
Now, one of the reasons that the Phoenix Suns have gone on top, they've become the Phoenix Suns that can score the basketball. They're shooting 85% for the quarter, and that's helped them. So defensively, when you talk to Butch Carter, he's going to say, guys, we got to do more than make them uncomfortable. We got to make them miserable. Butch Carter hoping this one goes in for Vince.
Thomas, an offensive rebound, sets up the three-point shot. No good by D. Brown, but another offensive board. Carter catch and shoot. And crashing the boards, Thomas called for the loose ball foul. Number 3 on John Thomas. Toronto went over 3 minutes at one point without a field goal, so Carter came back in. And we'll go back to the Phoenix free throw line, and Jason Kidd with 45 seconds left in the third quarter.
You know, Butch Carter is the master of non-verbal language. He uses the stare to his advantage. You'll see him just standing there looking, and you know, and sometimes when he glances at his stars, Carter and McGrady, they understand what's being said without him saying a word. and the whole team is getting the message right now. We got to guard some people.
Well, you know, he said that all these players are millionaires. If I were the CEO of a company and all my staff were millionaires, I wouldn't be cussing them out in public. He said body language accomplishes a lot.
Toronto right now needs to stop the bleeding. They need a score. Looking inside for Kevin Willis.
Some call for him. Turn it over. And Kidd travels. D. Brown was set up. Kidd didn't see him. Caused the turnover.
Nice play by D. Brown to step in there and surprise Jason Kidd.
So Toronto gets a reprieve with 24.9 on the game clock for the third quarter.
And despite the 12 amazing points of Carter, the crowd is quiet now, and they've got to re-energize the Air Canada Center.
Raptors look for the final shot. They'll look for number 15, one would think. Well, McGrady is going to take it, and he's going to be fouled.
Rodney Rogers.
Number 3 on Rodney.
The Suns' number 54, Rodney Rogers, picks up his third personal foul of the game. Number 1.
And McGrady will again shoot free throws. Second straight starting role for McGrady, and Butch Carter and his Raptors organization can pay McGrady more than anyone else if they can re-sign him. Heard the discussion at halftime from our group in the New York studio about the chances, and Peter Vesey saying that though McGrady may like the comparison to Pippen, he really doesn't want to be a second banana. He wants stardom of his own.
He said his agent.
That's right. He did correct himself and said his agent said that. They'll say that too, I learned.
They're trying to trap the ball in Jason Kidd.
For 3, Hardaway. Carter the rebound. And the length of the court shot will not go down. As the third quarter comes to a close, the Cousins, McGrady, and Carter have combined for 51 points.
Rashad back at the Air Canada Center where the Suns lead the Raptors 79-76. And these here in this building are some of the best seats in the house. And the reason that these are some of the best seats in the house is not only can you see the court, but you can also see the curvature of the earth from up there. There are a lot of people talking about Tracy McGrady. I had a long conversation with him yesterday just about life and a lot of other things and the speculation about him not being here. And I found that Tracy is very close to his mother, with his grandmother. They both live in Florida. He's from Florida. He just bought a house in Isleworth down near Orlando. So all the speculation about him maybe leaving and going to Orlando, I think is proper speculation. I mean, 'cause here's a kid that he's only 20 years old, would like to be closer to his family, and he really has no qualms about being a second banana. He said he enjoys playing with Vince Carter, has nothing to do with it. There's no competition there. He's out trying to make his own way in the world, and, you know, who knows? Maybe he finds it in Orlando. Tom?
All right, Ahmad, the speculation will continue, and he's going to get a chance to show his wares to the rest of the league because Butch Carter indicating he will start him the rest of the season. Carter's shot partially blocked, taken down by Rogers. Phoenix already has its largest lead as Muggsy Bogues fouls Jason Kidd before the shot is put up.
Yesterday, Antonio Davis told us we're a little bit out of sync, and they had it going for a while, and now they're showing a little bit of impatience, and they've got to just play through a rough stretch. There's plenty of time for them to get back in control of the scoreboard, but they've got to do it the way that they did in the first and second quarter.
Well, that shot by Jason Kidd didn't count, but it was pretty amazing. Did you see that? He continued on and flipped it up with the left hand.
And you're only down 5 points, you know, and even though Vince Carter's had to do most of the work, you've got to play as a unit and give Carter a chance to make some plays for everybody else, and they get Kevin Willis moving to the ball, and you'll go to the line.
Nice cut for the veteran Willis, resulting in the Phoenix foul, number 4 on Rodney Rogers. So that could be a key point as Rogers picks up his 4th with 11:08 to play.
Yeah, because he was key in keeping them in the ball game. When Phoenix was struggling, it was Rodney Rogers that gave him a boost, played 16 minutes, had 17 points, or do I have that reversed? But he had a terrific first half.
And for Toronto, Antonio Davis replacing John Thomas. Kevin Willis, who played 10 years in Atlanta, but also has played for Miami, Golden State, Houston, and Toronto. and ranks all-time number 8 in the NBA in offensive rebounds. Makes it a 3-point game with 11 minutes left. Here's Jason Kidd posting up Muggsy Bogues. The double from Christie, who's open. Marion for 3. And Muggsy Bogues skies for the rebound. Carter wants it. Christie gets it to him. Shoots over Marion and hits Sean Marion. You know, Scott Skiles has this notebook in which he keeps things from games, coaching points, techniques, things that might work. It's going to be full after a visit to Toronto. That thing is going to be bulging at the seams.
Well, the only thing he can come up with is don't let Vince catch the ball. But, you know, they've done a pretty good job of coming back and staying in it. But Carter had to work real hard against the defense of Marion to finally get the ball. And he's going to take what Marion gives him, and that is the shot over the top.
Dear Diary, once again today, Vince Carter put on a show. Rogers his 19th point. There's Scott Skiles. He keeps that book up to date, updates it constantly. Rogers scored 16 of his 19 in the first half. Misses the second free throw. Antonio Davis hauls it down, and Toronto with a chance to cut into the lead, perhaps take the lead with a three-pointer, maybe tie it with a 2.
And as I said earlier, now what they need to do is move the ball, move people quickly, give Carter a chance to make it happen.
Okay. 41 for Carter, and Toronto has tied it at 82. Rogers draws the double. Hardaway, Marion, short. Picked up by Toronto. Davis hands to Bogues.
If you were to say which is the option you'd want to have, it wouldn't be Penny Hardaway or Rogers shooting the ball because they played well from the outside, but it would be Sean Marion, and he missed, trying to go back to Carter.
Baseline jumper. Oh. .43 for Vince Carter. Tom Hammond, Steve Snapper Jones, Ahmad Rashad, the Air Canada Center, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The Vince Carter Show. 2-point lead, and you looked at Clifford Robinson, who scored 50 on January 16th. Allen Iverson matched that total in an NBC game. Vince Carter with his career-high 47 against the Milwaukee Bucks earlier this season. He has 43 today with 9:20 remaining.
Yeah, all those numbers are in jeopardy right now as Carter is in the zone again, making his last 3 jump shots.
Whistle away from the ball, and an illegal screen called against the Suns will turn it over.
Cliff Robinson cannot catch a break in this one. He smiles at the call and he says, you know, you got it in for me today?
With all the 20 tickets he bought, the people from Buffalo, his hometown, to see him, he has only 10 points and now picks up his 5th foul.
It's tough to play when you're sitting on the bench, and that's what's happened to Cliff this afternoon, trying to come inside to Antonio Davis.
Nice catch. How in the world did he catch it? The Suns want a tie-up, but no, it'll be a foul called on Phoenix. It's on Penny Hardaway, number 3.
Foul call on the Suns, number 1, Anthony Hardaway. His 3rd personal foul of the game. Team foul number 2.
Well, the coaches over there for the Phoenix Suns are aghast, and they're trying to say, well, how is he going to get to the free throw line if we held him on the floor?
We'll shoot 2.
Antonio Davis, pair of free throws. And, of course, this game is the first of 3 on NBC today. Coming up next, most of you will see Allen Iverson and the 76ers against the New York Knicks. Others will see a rematch of the Western semis from a year ago as Portland hosts Utah. Then in Game 3, the Houston Rockets with Steve Francis take on Kobe Bryant, Shaq, and the Lakers. Some see the Spurs and the T-Wolves. A triple header today on NBC.
Cliff Robinson has to sit down, and they bring in Rex Chapman, and the Raptors are up by 4.
Vince Carter has scored the last 5 field goals by Toronto. He's the only Raptor to score from the field in the last 8 minutes. They lead by 4. Gugliotta. Rebounded by Davis. That's 9 rebounds for Antonio. Rex Chapman onto the floor for the Suns, guarding Bogues.
You know they're going to try to execute now with Bogues out on the floor. He's one of those guys that's fairly mistake-free and understands the game. Carter with 9 on the clock.
The crossover created space, but the shot no good. Chapman and Davis scramble for the ball. Toronto's ball.
Well, he can't make them all.
No, you can't. You have a hard time convincing the Suns.
20-second timeout.
20-second timeout is called. Well, Vince Carter, you know, is perhaps growing a little weary of the comparisons to Michael Jordan. He thinks they're premature. He said, after I've been in the league for 8 more years, then maybe you can start. But of course, it's inevitable. Both the former North Carolina Tar Heels, many of the same moves, the same electricity when they enter the building. But Vince is right. It's premature, but perhaps only human nature to think of him as the next Michael Jordan. And if you look at their numbers after their first 2 seasons, well, I don't think there'll ever be another Michael Jordan, but Vince Carter creating his own identity now.
Well, he is going to create his own identity, but the one thing that is similar for both of them, nobody knew they would be these kinds of professional talents coming out of North Carolina. I mean, you can say Jordan was the college player of the year. He was awfully good. They won a championship, but nobody thought he'd win 10 scoring titles, dominate the big moments of the game, win championships like he did at the pro level, and it's the same thing for Vince Carter.
Carter wasn't even first-team All-American, which says something for the people that voted.
So Jason Kidd now defending as they poke the ball away.
That was Kidd that made the steal from Carter. Quick hands of Jason Kidd, and then Carter fouls trying to get it back, and Vince Carter has picked up his 4th.
Well, that may be the thing that takes him out of this ball game. Personal fouls. He's got 4 now with 8:04 to go, and the last time he was taken out of the game, they went down. Tracy McGrady back in, Muggsy Bogues out.
And Vince Carter stays on the floor with 4 fouls and 8 minutes on the clock. Brady's had a productive day. Toronto has been on a 10-1 run the last 3 minutes. Rex Chapman rebounded by Davis. That's 10 rebounds for him. And Davis, as always, doing an excellent job on the boards. He's had about 22 games this season with 10 rebounds or more. Christie fouled by Chapman.
You heard Vince Carter say we want to try to take some of the sizzle out of the game and slow the game down. And there's an example where they wanted to try to find a mismatch and an advantage, also give him a chance to catch a breather. They go to Doug Christie, and he has been quiet this afternoon, slashing, gets to the free throw line.
Christie, the all-time Raptor leading scorer. The franchise, of course, only 5 years old.
You can forget it.
Yeah, it won't be long. Enjoy it while you can, Doug. Those free throws, his first 2 points of the game.
6-point lead for Toronto.
Jason Kidd penetrates to Gugliotta. Offensive board, Rogers. Put it on the floor, and what's the call? Carter's in there.
Kickball.
It's going to be a kickball. Now remember, Vince Carter has 4 fouls and was in the middle of that scrap. But kickball, a ball is called, and Phoenix will get it.
With 24 on the shot clock.
There's the exchange.
These are the rebounds that they have to have. When they force you to shoot the ball quickly and over the top of the defense, they've got to get that, not get Phoenix a chance to get something on a broken play, and then come back and execute. They get a foul against Doug Christie.
Meanwhile, the Suns have lost their shooting test after hitting 67% in the second and third quarters. They were only 1 of 8 before that, as Hardaway slams down number 22.
A nice lead lob as they fed Rodney Rogers, and that's a way to get some momentum going for your team when you're struggling to make shots. Coming back to Christie against Rex Chapman.
And Chapman called for the block. Rex thought that Christie had lowered his shoulder on him.
But the quick turn, and you see that lead foot of Chapman's didn't move. Just got stuck right there on the floor, so no matter how much you fall away, you're not going to get that call. He needed to get that foot moving.
Rex has not scored today. Told me before the game he's accepted a roll change. He used to be the instant offense. Davis fouled. Rogers thought he had a clean block.
But, you know, a part of his role change as we look at Tom Gugliotta and the second personal foul against him is the fact that he had that foot injury. He never really quite recovered, and in the process, he never quite got his touch back. I mean, this is the guy that makes some of the toughest shots in the league, and he can't get a chance to really get any kind of rhythm. I think it starts with his feet.
Antonio Davis, who over the course of his career has really struggled at the free throw line, is now a nearly 80% free throw shooter and is 5 for 5 today. Are you listening, Shaq? Although Shaq, too, has found his stroke at the free throw line.
Did he have a tattoo put on his shoulder? Free throw line has been the saving grace for the Toronto Raptors. They've been able to get there. They've been able to knock them down. 6:13 to go in the game. You hear the crowd.
Carter with a steal, and Hardaway fouled him. Might as well.
Yeah, but we've seen that before.
Don't you have anything new? Come on.
Now this time, and you know, he's done a good job of doing just that, poking his hands in the way. He finally gets a piece of the ball. They give him.
Might as well watch. Oh, nothing to it.
You know, he said, I just can't lay it up.
He didn't look too tempted to me, I think. He's 2 points away from his career high. He has 45 points. And 6 minutes left.
8-point lead. Now let's see if defensively they stay tight and make it tough for the Suns to get back in the game by making them play from the perimeter. Rodney Rogers.
Nice shots by Rogers, avoiding the 7-footer Willis to roll it in, and he has 23 points.
5 in the quarter for Rodney Rogers.
Carter. And a chance to tie his career high.
You know, Rodney Rogers had the spark off the bench, keeping him in the game. And again, you see his size, his strength, the ability to manufacture a shot on his own. We talk about guys and how they don't quite find their niches on certain teams. And in Los Angeles, he never was happy, never comfortable. Finally got here, and he's showing just how good and how much he can help a team. Carter, 46.
I don't think he's missed a free throw either, has he? Nope, 10 for 10. Running out of superlatives.
Oh, Tom, I think you'll find some more.
Ties his career high, and 50 is in peril.
I think he's going to make you, Tom. For the Suns,
Robinson, good job to draw the foul. Willis, I believe, although he was surrounded by white jerseys. It is Willis, number 3.
But Cliff Robinson is a guy that can score points in bunches, and you don't want to let him get started. He scored 50 earlier this season, but he's capable in a short period of time going into double figures, and he's been kept out of the game only because of foul problems. So even though Toronto has the lead, they cannot feel comfortable yet with the offensive punch that Phoenix has out on the floor.
94-88 Toronto, 5 minutes, 22 seconds and counting. This would be a big statement game for the Toronto Raptors. The first time they've been seen all over North America on NBC. Fighting for playoffs, and Carter called for the travel.
Yeah, they doubled him that time, and in trying to find the open man, just kept sliding those feet Watch out.
Did Robinson touch it? Yes, he did. Toronto gets it right back. Kidd trying to find Robinson. He was behind the defense. Deflected by a Raptor, then off Robinson and out of bounds.
Immediately, Scott Skiles gets up and says, let's have some pressure on the ball, and Cliff Robinson is now guarding Doug Christie.
Christie for three. Yep. Not a good idea. Christie bangs in a three-pointer. And timeout, Phoenix. Still a lot of great action to come from the NBA on NBC today, but it'll be hard to top the Vince Carter show here at the Air Canada Center. First NBC appearance for the Raptors and their young star Vince Carter, and he has been scintillating. 47 points, equaling his career high. And more importantly, perhaps in the team concept, the Raptors up 97-88. Hardaway for three. Penny Hardaway continues to sizzle the nets. He has 25 points.
A much-needed bucket. Up until then, they had 9 points, 4 for Cliff Robinson, 5 for Rodney Rogers, and they had been outscored by Vince Carter in the quarter, 10-9. McGrady.
He once again gets into the lane and draws the foul. When you have two guys attacking the rim like Carter and McGrady, you're going to shoot a lot of free throws, and Toronto has hit 34 of 37 at the line compared to Phoenix 20 of 27.
You know, and 27 is a lot of free throws to get in a game.
And Toronto 12 for 12 in this quarter. Of course, that's the hex. Never fails. Move an inch closer, Chris. On target with number 2. And it's a 7-point Toronto lead, just over 4 minutes left. Tough pass Kidd tried to make to Robinson, who was surrounded by Raptors.
But with Robinson, Rogers, Hardaway, Gugliana, all very good offensive players, and a 7-point advantage, that can disappear very quickly. So Toronto's got to really try to control Jason Kidd. He's going to try to make things happen for those guys offensively. Cliff Robinson.
Couldn't finish it. Tapped it once, no good. Willis clears.
Good decision by Cliff Robinson to bring it to the rim. Just couldn't quite get it done.
Jason Kidd now trying to check Vince Carter. Christie, they left him alone. He hit one of those a moment ago. Couldn't quite get that one. Picked up on the fly. Robinson to Kidd. Gugliana. No basket. Charging foul. Offensive foul on Tom Gugliana. Right side of basket.
Big break for the Toronto Raptors. Is it the 3-on-2 and scattered, and Antonio Davis gets out in front of the line. Good play for Davis. And a very good call going for the Toronto Raptors.
And it's number 5 on Tom Gugliana.
Willis comes out of the ball game. Moakley, who's been sitting for a while, will come back in. See how quickly he oils up and can get loose.
Clifford Robinson continues to guard Doug Christie out on the court. Here's a screen for Carter. Double teamed. Got it back to Oakley. Inside foul as Davis takes it up.
I guess Oakley figured it out. I wasn't quite warm enough to shoot, and I haven't been making that shot, so let me give it to somebody else. Nice pass inside to Antonio Davis, and it's back on the line as Penny Hardaway picks up the personal.
Number 5, so Gugliana, Robinson, Hardaway, each with 5 fouls. Meanwhile, Toronto shooting for the 40th time at the free throw line. They have hit 36 of 40.
One field goal for Antonio Davis. So, you know, of his 9 points, most of them come from the line. He misses the second.
99-91, Toronto. Hardaway.
Now, Penny Hardaway's got a mismatch with Oakley. That means should be looking to score. Should have gone to the rim.
Yeah, settle for the jump shot. Settle for the jump shot. Then the Raptors fumble it out of bounds as Christie and Oakley were there.
When you're guarding, the ball hits the floor and you don't get many rebounds anyway. You try to get it and it nervously couldn't control it. 2:55 to go in the fourth.
Jason Kidd, who has 31 career double-doubles, or triple-doubles, held in check today. Robinson misses a three. Christie the rebound.
Sometimes teams get a little off-kilter and trying to catch up, and they think they need a three when really they need a two. And if Phoenix had scored, then the pressure comes back on the Toronto Raptors to continue to score. McGrady.
Double teamed. Somehow saved it. Carter for three. Came up short. Rogers to Hardaway. Rodney Rogers.
7 for Rodney Rogers, a 6-point game, 2 minutes to go, and the Raptors have to execute. So if you're the Phoenix Suns, you just got to keep pressure on the ball and hope they make another mistake for you. They get a foul.
It's on Carter, pushing off Kidd, trying to get open, and that's 5 on Vince Carter.
And 1:55 to go as Vince Carter is trying to get some breathing room.
Well, I think Butch Carter would say, you got to let that one go. Here's Hardaway nailing a three, and the Suns are right back in it. 99-96, and Vince Carter now playing with 5 fouls. Hardaway with 28 points. Timeout, Toronto. Penny Hardaway's three-pointer has brought the Suns within 3 of Toronto.
And you see that they go to sleep defensively. They let Penny Hardaway just step into a three with no pressure, and it cuts the lead in half as McGrady reacts too late. 28 for Penny Hardaway.
Toronto's ball with 1:40. Carter pulls up. He'll shoot a couple of free throws. Could not get the roll on the field goal attempt. And a chance to set his career high.
Well, the game is tightened up, and whenever it's tightened up, the Toronto Raptors have come back to Vince Carter. Carter trying to push the lead to 5 with these free throws.
He's not missed a free throw all day, 11 for 11. His mom can't bear to watch.
Well, she can't criticize it.
That's right. He hasn't missed a free throw. No ammunition. 49, a career high for Vince Carter, and the Raptors lead by 5.
If they talk about stops, this is a stop that the Raptors need to have, so they got to keep pressure on the ball. Don't let Hardaway and the Suns go where they want to on the court. 11 on the shot clock.
Hardaway's had the hot hand, and he will shoot a pair of free throws. Antonio Davis with the foul, number 2.
And that's what Butch Carter does not want to see. A switch on big man, small man, mobile guy taking the ball to the rim, and the clock gets stopped.
That makes it a 4-point game. Clock shows 1:21.
If this is a coming out party for Vince Carter on TV, it's a rebirth for Penny Hardaway back on national TV. Big game this afternoon for Penny Hardaway with 28.
Yeah, Hardaway making a statement. So was Rodney Rogers in that bid to be the 6th man award winner. Taken away from McGrady, and now jump ball is called.
Penny Hardaway making a huge gamble, trying to slap that ball away with 5 personal fouls. Is able to get a jump ball. McGrady right there dribbled it off his foot. McGrady's thinking, I got time to call a timeout. No.
Well, he didn't have possession by that time because Hardaway had his hands wrapped around the ball as well. So,
well, if you're McGrady, you got to be thinking tap back in the direction between Christie and Vince Carter. If you're Cliff Robinson or Jason Kidd, you got to think steal and head in that direction.
McGrady won the tap, but Kidd chases it down for Phoenix, and Christie fouls him. Boy, Kidd was quick to the ball.
Well, what happened was the tap was too far for Vince Carter, and Jason Kidd very, very quick in reacting and put some heat on Doug Christie, and he'll go to the line.
Kidd was in full stride when he found that ball.
Maybe he ought to be out there with you and Maurice Green.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's quite that fast, but... And the free throw takes a trip and falls off.
Vince Carter telling the fans, get into it. We need him to miss this one right here. 3-point ball game.
He's hit 2 of 3. That miss ruined his perfect mark at the line, and he shoots 82% on the season. So, as you might expect, the second one goes down, and it's a 2-point game. 1 minute left.
Put Robinson down and showing his versatility, really keep moving his feet against Doug Christie and pressuring the ball. 13 on the clock.
Here they get it to number 15. Quick double team. Gugliotta and Kidd knocked away, and then he puts it in. Somehow Carter recovered, and he has 51 points. Career high. Hardaway, Rogers for 3. Got it.
They
1 point game.
Go away.
Rogers has 28. Toronto with the ball, up 1. Jason Kidd trying to stay with Carter. Christie directing traffic. 6 to shoot. Here's Carter. Kidd diving, knocks it out of bounds. Whose ball? It's going to be Toronto's ball with 4 seconds on the shot clock.
As I said, the great ones make away, and he split the double team, lost control, but had the presence of mind to know we need 2, and his mother's reaction.
Well, the great one, Michael Jordan, scored 50 points or more 38 times. 38 times. This is the first for Vince Carter. Welcome back to Toronto. We build it as Vince Carter and the Raptors coming out party. And the great ones respond when the spotlight shines, and he has a career-high 51 points. The Raptors lead by 1. 17 seconds on the game clock, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Toronto ball.
If you're the Phoenix Suns, you don't want anything coming cheap and over the top. They got to make this ball come from the outside. Oakley.
Right back to McGrady. Christie got a shot away, no good. Shot clock violation with 12.9 seconds left. So actually, they're going to put some time back on the clock. It looks now 14-1 they'll put up there.
Full timeout.
And a full timeout taken by the Phoenix Suns.
The ball is going to be put in the hands of Jason Kidd, and we have heard Vince Carter tell us, okay, the great ones take the challenge of stepping up, and now Vince Carter's going to come down and try to tiger Jason Kidd. Kidd will try to make it happen off the dribble and then find the open man.
Jason Kidd, checked by Carter. High post, Rogers. Rogers turning on Oakley. Here's the drive and the spin, knocked away. Loose ball, Toronto has it. Christie is fouled. And that's it, game over. Game over, Toronto holds on to win. Vince Carter superb in victory. A career high 51 points.
Now this game closed down, and you got to be lucky sometime. Rogers makes the spin, and he was there and lost control of the ball, and it popped right into the hands of the defense and Doug Christie.
And the foul occurring after the clock had expired, and Prince Vince celebrates a big-time message victory as the Raptors, on their first time to be seen all over North America on NBC, beat the hot Phoenix Suns, and Mom celebrates her baby's career high 51 points.